your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air.
Hello, hello. Ali here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at this setup here, which I'm planning to use for an upcoming live set. I'm going to break down everything that's in the rack, talk a bit about the patch, and also talk about how to sort of formulate ideas and how I plan to actually make this live set happen. If that sounds good, please stick around. Also, please subscribe if you're not already. And yeah, let's just dive into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is my objectives for the live set. I'm playing in quite a busy bar pub in Glasgow called Block. It's a Friday night, and the other DJs and musicians that I'm playing with are going to be doing sort of upbeat house, electro, dance music. So I really wanted to fit in with the vibe of the night and create something which is going to have a bit of beat and a bit of rhythm, something that you can dance to if you want. In the past, my live sets have often sort of focused on the OP1 being the main sort of sound source, and I would run that through an effects rack with an SP404 and a drum machine. But I decided to go more oscillator based today, which is why I have a bigger rack. I've brought out the old Arturia Rack Brute 6U, and I find that this is a really good size for having everything that I need without it being overly complicated. And if you're signed up to the Patreon, then this will be about the third or fourth iteration of this setup that you have seen. And I realised quite soon that I really needed to have a mixer in the rack. Something where all of the audio can come together and I'm just going to use a stereo out, just a single stereo out. So I've got my drums coming in here to channel 4. Get the OP1 coming in to channel 3. I've also got the 4MS sampler going into channel 3.
Put your hands in the air.
And I have plats into channel 2 and braids into channel 1. I really love having volume faders and mute controls. The mutes are fantastic. Another thing I really like is that it has 2 send and return effects, and we'll get into that a bit later, but yeah, I'm really enjoying using those. What else? I guess we'll talk about the oscillators. Starting off here, we have braids, which is going into the UVCF. Let's bring this down. So braids is going into the UVCF, which is going directly into channel 1. Then we have plats, which is going into the Joe Dagger from Shackmat and then into channel 2. So very simple oscillator setups here. All of the effects in the rack are actually used in the send and returns, which is very unusual for me. I typically like things to go directly into effects, but I'm really enjoying working this way. Then we have the 4MS sampler. I found a bunch of sounds online, police sounds,
Put your hands in the air.
which I'm really enjoying.
Put your hands in the air.
And think I will search for more of these types of sounds. I think it is cool to have these sort of vocal samples in to give a bit more character to your jams. We also have the OP1, which I'm just going to be using to do kind of little things over the top. It's no longer going to be the focal point of the jams, and I kind of like it that way. It's nice to just have the ability to put a number of different sounds down, also chords if need be. So that's the 4 sound sources and the KO2 as well, which is running into channel 4. Everything is being clocked from palms. Normally, well, quite often I don't clock things, but because this is going to be a long set, well, at least half an hour, and it's sort of dance related, I can't be doing with stopping and restarting things. So I'm going to be having this steady pulse throughout most of the set, I imagine, which means I want things to be clocked. Next, let's take a look at the send and returns. So there are 2 effects chains here. Effects chain 2, which we can hear just now, is the echo cinematic, just the echo cinematic, and the reason why I chose this is because it is a very nice sounding delay. It can do those dub effects, and it's also got a ridiculously good reverb. I really like the diversity of that, being able to bring in either the delay or the reverb. Just got to be a little bit careful. Then my second send effect is actually beads and the MFX and the effects aid. Let's bring that in. Use this for reverb, for delays, for anything pretty much. Having the ability to send oscillators to different effects and also to send multiple sound sources to different effects is really powerful. And
put your hands in the air.
And I'm still kind of getting used to this setup, but I do like the possibilities that we can get from this. Next I want to talk about the Oxy one, which you may have noticed down here for the first time on the channel. This is a new sequencer for me and I'm still learning it. It's very deep. The manual's quite deep as well. I'm starting to get my head around it. I do feel like I'm going to need to practice quite a lot to get proficient at it. I'm used to the BeatStep Pro, which I kind of know off by heart, so it is challenging to learn a new piece of gear, especially one that's capable of so much.
Put your hands in the air.
But the reason why I decided to use it is because it can control up to 8 oscillators, which is wild. First of all, it's battery powered, which is fantastic. But it's also got a lot of really great random sequence generation capabilities. And actually this sequence here was generated by random, and it was a kind of inspiration for the beginning of the track. Let's get back to the initial setup here. This is it, this is how we started. Really crunchy bass sound.
Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air.
I really like having the ability to create sort of randomly generated sequences, especially when you're feeling low on inspiration.
Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air.
It's a bit much.
Put your hands in the air.
So yeah, that's the setup. A couple of other wee things to point out. I'm using maths here as my 2 filter envelopes. I was initially using the Envy machine from RYK Modular, which is a fantastic, much smaller 4-channel modulation module. I just felt that math was that tiny bit more immediate, where I could really much quicker affect both channels simultaneously. That's the only reason why I've opted for maths. It's taken up quite a lot of real estate, but I don't mind that. I've also got the oct in here for modulation duties. The Pico input is bringing the OP1 up to modular level, and the Instro Carn is mixing the OP1 and the sampler so that they can occupy one channel on the mixer. Ideally, I would actually have the OP1 and the sampler on different channels, and you can get an expander for the Bartender. I could see in future I probably would do that, so I can have an extra channel. But this is my workaround for just now, is to have the Instro Carn. And yeah, from now until Friday the 21st of February, which is the day of the gig, I'm just going to be sort of trying out different ideas, practicing transitioning between ideas. I'm going to be getting to know the sequencer more, including the arranger mode, which is something I've not even looked at, but I think it's going to be something which really unlocks the power of the Oxy One. And yeah, I might try and record the setup, the live set. If that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll take a look at getting that happening.
Put your hands in the air.
I hope you've enjoyed this sort of dive into the live setup. It does seem like quite a long-winded video because it's not really broken up into different sections, but yeah, any thoughts, leave them down below. Any advice on the Oxy one or anything going on here, let me know. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy what I do and you would like to support my work, then I do have a Patreon account where I upload extra videos as well as sample packs and preset packs. You can sign up to that for as little as £3 a month and it really helps me out a great deal. I also have an online store. I have a cassette for sale which I don't have to hand, but you can grab that on Bandcamp, and there are some affiliate links down below as well. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll catch you again soon.
Put your hands in the air.